You might think your enemies are outside, but the real threat often lies within your own words. Right now, someone could be replaying casual things you said and turning them into weapons. That joke you made when you felt comfortable. That late-night confession you assumed was safe. That tiny moment of oversharing when you were tired. Each one is a loaded gun you handed to someone else. Many people act as if spoken words disappear once out loud. They assume people forget. That silence hides mistakes. It doesn't. In a world obsessed with screenshots, receipts, and memory, your careless words are the spy undermining you from within. Every collapse you observe, from careers, empires, or friendships, starts with words someone wishes they could erase. Your mouth is not just a tool. It can be your most dangerous enemy. It exposes fears, ambitions, and gives rivals the leverage they need to control you. Machiavelli dedicated his life to studying power. His warning is clear. Those who control their words control their destiny. Those who don't fall victim to their own voice. In the next few minutes, you'll learn 10 everyday situations where your words quietly betray you. Seemingly harmless moments that leak power, expose weaknesses, and hand others a roadmap to control you. These traps happen to everyone, but only those who heed Machiavelli's advice notice them before it's too late. If you're ready to stop being sabotaged by your own words and start speaking with purpose, comment this affirmation: I speak only to win. Number 1. The rage revelation. Anger is like sounding the alarm on your own secrets. Everything you've hidden can suddenly spill out. When you're furious, the part of your brain that protects your reputation shuts down, and your mouth becomes a weapon against yourself. Old grudges, buried resentments, and thoughts you'd never admit when calm pour out, not strategically, but because control is lost. In that moment, the person who triggered you isn't your enemy. They're your interrogator. They've discovered what provokes you, and once they know, they can manipulate you into revealing more than intended, in work, relationships, or public settings, while they remain calm. The damage isn't just in what you say, it's in the permanent image it creates. Unhinged, emotional, easily manipulated. Machiavelli warned that anyone who wants power must first control themselves, starting with their tongue. Power is not the absence of anger. It's the discipline to experience it without saying anything that can be used against you. Process rage privately and respond publicly like a strategist, not a victim. Comment this affirmation: my anger serves me. Number 2. The victory parade. Success intoxicates, and ego wants witnesses. When you start winning, you feel compelled to explain every step of your achievement. How clever you were, how hard you worked, how sharp your strategy was. But breaking down victories isn't just storytelling, it's handing out instructions. Colleagues, rivals, even friends may silently take notes. Every explanation of how you won becomes a free guide for someone planning to take your place. Mystery dissolves into transparency, and those who are transparent are easy to outmaneuver. Machiavelli warned that a wise leader never undermines their own power for appearances. Bragging is sacrificing future influence for temporary admiration. True elites celebrate quietly, speaking only when silence would cause more harm than words. Let your results make the noise while you remain unreadable. Comment this affirmation: victory speaks silently. Number 3. The liquid confession. Alcohol doesn't create new truths. It disables the filter that normally keeps your secrets safe. With every drink, the barrier between thought and speech thins. Fears, regrets, grudges, and plans spill out effortlessly. You speak to connect, seem honest, or keep the energy flowing, but every word is a potential leak of your power. And in doing so, you turn yourself into a walking intelligence file. The person who keeps their glass fuller than yours and their mind clearer than yours isn't just relaxed. They're quietly positioning themselves as the observer in the room, absorbing every detail. You're too at ease to stay guarded. That unfiltered story about your relationship, that casual remark about office politics, that honest admission about money, health, or uncertainty may feel relieving in the moment, but later it becomes leverage. They remember what you barely notice. You wake up with a headache. They wake up with usable information. Machiavelli warned that a ruler should fear his own impulses more than his enemies, because the desire for comfort is what opens the gate from within. In a world where everyone has a camera and a notes app, every loose, intoxicated sentence is one screenshot, recording, or repeated quote away from coming back to you. Strategic people treat alcohol as a test. If the setting, the people, and the stakes aren't worth losing control, they stay alert or they don't attend. Connection is never worth the price of self-betrayal. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Clarity is my power. Number 4, the breaking point. Stress doesn't only exhaust you. It removes your defenses and lets your words come from panic instead of control. When deadlines pile up, finances tighten, or conflict increases, the composed version of you starts to crack. And what shows up isn't planning, it's urgency. You begin admitting that you're overwhelmed, that you're unsure of your direction, that things aren't as stable as they appear. You call family to vent. You overshare with friends. You open up to coworkers who don't need that information, all because you're looking for relief. But every time you unload, you're giving someone a clear outline of your vulnerabilities. The people closest to your pressure points now know exactly where you feel uncertain, exactly where to apply force if they ever need influence. Your breaking point feels like honesty. To the wrong listener, it's an instruction manual. Machiavelli warned that it's better to command respect than to seek sympathy, because people slowly lose respect for those who collapse under the same weight they were trusted to handle. Pressure isn't the enemy. It's the audit that shows who stays composed when others fall apart. Those with power learn to absorb damage privately and speak publicly as if nothing shook them, sharing only what strengthens their position, not what comforts their emotions. Use pressure as a forge, not a confession. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Pressure builds diamonds. Number 5, the sympathy extraction. Not every sad story is a request for help. Some are bait, and your response is the hook. Manipulators rarely appear as clear threats. They show up as the wounded, the misunderstood, the "you're the only one who understands me" type. They present carefully measured struggles, revealing just enough weakness to seem sincere, then wait while your empathy takes over. You begin mirroring their openness with your own, talking about regrets, past errors, private fears, family issues, and failures because it feels like connection. But what you believe is shared healing is often a one-sided collection. They're gathering information while you're giving it away. Later, when roles change or tension surfaces, those personal details become pressure points they can use at will. Machiavelli warned that people are easy to deceive because they are driven by immediate needs. Here, the need to feel kind and supportive blinds you to the reality that you're being observed and analyzed. The person who displays vulnerability with perfect timing, flawless wording, and exact emotional balance is often acting, not exposing a real wound. Genuine pain is untidy, uneven, and rarely demands your full life story in exchange. Strength comes from knowing how to support others without giving away leverage, to listen without offering your own weak points, to show empathy without turning your life into an open record. You can be caring and still remain protected. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I help without revealing. Number 6, the information exchange. Gossip is not harmless conversation. It is a shadow economy where your words quietly sell pieces of you at no cost. Every time you lean in and say, "Don't tell anyone I told you," you are doing more than talking about someone else. You are signaling your character to the listener. You believe you are connecting, staying informed, being included. In reality, you are teaching people to view you as a source, not a safekeeper. The quiet observer in the group, the one who asks light questions and shares little about themselves, is running the most effective strategy in the room. They gather information, you reveal it. They remember, you move on. They accumulate leverage while you earn a reputation for speaking too freely. Information always rises to those who know how to listen, and betrayal always falls on those who cannot stop talking. Machiavelli warned that people ruin themselves when they confuse how the world should work with how it actually works. You believe conversations are meant to be safe spaces, but often they function as intelligence tests. Every secret you repeat proves you cannot protect even your own. Every confidence you break becomes a story someone else tells about you. Power comes from collecting, not distributing, listening carefully, storing quietly, and contributing nothing that could ever be used against you. Let others play the gossip game while you study the players. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Secrets flow to me. Number 7, the authority trap. When someone above you treats you unfairly, criticizing your work, questioning your worth, or reshaping the narrative. Every instinct pushes you to defend yourself. You want to explain, justify, and prove they are wrong. You want to show that you are not the problem. But the moment you argue with authority, your words stop protecting you and start working against you. Emotional explanations do not sound like truth. They sound like excuses. Lengthy defenses do not read as clarity. They read as instability. Authority figures often test people by applying pressure, provoking reactions, or deliberately misinterpreting situations to see how someone performs under stress. If you lose control, over-explain, or begin pleading your case, you fail the test and confirm their unspoken belief that you cannot handle pressure. You think you are standing up for fairness, but power systems are not built on fairness. They are built on usefulness. Machiavelli warned that power and politics do not follow moral reasoning. The system does not care how correct you feel, only how effective you are. Those who advance are not the ones who win arguments with their superiors. They are the ones who set aside ego in the moment, respond with measured calm, and allow undeniable results to speak later. This does not mean accepting mistreatment. It means recognizing that your strongest move is not an emotional defense, but consistent, undeniable performance that makes your value impossible to dismiss. When you speak to authority, speak like someone who already understands they will win in the long run. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Results prove everything. Number 8. The revenge revelation. When someone betrays you, walks away, or humiliates you, your first instinct is to reach for the ultimate weapon: secrets. You know what they hide. You know their fears, their mistakes, the late-night confessions they promised would never leave the room. And a quiet voice starts saying, expose them. Show everyone who they really are. It may feel like justice, but the moment you start exposing someone, you're not just damaging their reputation, you're putting your own at risk. Everyone watching, from friends to future partners to potential employers, isn't thinking, they got what they deserved. They're thinking, if this person ever gets upset with me, they'll do the same thing. The secrets you reveal about them also reveal something about you, that your loyalty has limits and your silence can't be trusted once you're hurt. Machiavelli warned that cruelty and severity, if ever used, must be precise and controlled. Wild retaliation eventually consumes the one who unleashes it. The strongest response to betrayal isn't a public outburst, it's strategic silence. Knowing everything and saying nothing turns information into leverage instead of wasting it for a few moments of satisfaction. Power players make others wonder what they might say, but rarely reveal their full hand. Their restraint is far more dangerous than any rant. Let your calm unsettle them more than any exposed secret ever could. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Silence is my revenge. Number 9. The competence theater. Insecurity loves a microphone, and it uses your words as its stage. When you feel out of your depth, your instinct isn't to pause and observe, it's to perform. You talk more, not less. You name drop to seem connected. You over-explain to seem knowledgeable. You interrupt to appear important. The harder you try to prove yourself, the more obvious it becomes that you're unsure if you belong. People rarely say it directly, but they sense it. The subtle desperation in your voice, the need to be recognized, the fear of being overlooked. Once someone notices that, they can control you. A simple question about your competence will make your words scramble to defend your image, revealing more about your fears and limits than silence ever could. Machiavelli warned that everyone sees appearances, but few know the truth. The more you talk, the easier it is for others to uncover what you're trying to hide. Truly powerful people let results tell the story and approach every conversation as a chance to learn, not perform. They aren't afraid to say, I don't know yet, because they trust their ability to figure it out. Quiet confidence terrifies the insecure and attracts those who matter. Drop this affirmation, my work speaks for me. Number 10. The promise prison. When cornered by expectations, pressure, or fear of losing approval, your words become desperate negotiators. You promise you'll change. You promise you'll deliver. You promise you'll show up, even when part of you knows you can't always follow through. In the moment, it feels like relief. Tension drops. The other person relaxes. The problem seems delayed. But every promise is a debt, and unpaid debts always come due with interest. Your credibility suffers. The more you use words to solve immediate problems, the more you quietly destroy the only real currency in power, trust. People may forgive mistakes, but they remember a pattern of empty promises. Machiavelli warned that anyone building strength on others' shifting moods stands on mud. Promises are structures built on hope, not proof. You think you're buying time, but you're selling your reputation. Smart operators don't hand out guarantees. They underpromise, overdeliver, and let people be pleasantly surprised rather than perpetually disappointed. A small, solid yes carries more weight than 1,000 dramatic vows that never materialize. When you feel pressure to say "I swear," pause. Speak only in terms of commitments you can honor. Drop this affirmation: "My word is a contract I honor." Your words have been betraying you your whole life, often without you noticing. Every casual conversation, every justified rant, every safe, private moment quietly feeds information to those who could use it against you. These tense situations aren't rare. They're everyday routines. Anger at a message, bragging, drinks with friends, late-night venting, gossip, insecurity, heartbreak, pressure. Others treat them like background noise. You now know their intelligence leaks. The difference between those who keep losing and those who quietly rise isn't luck or talent, it's verbal discipline. Victims speak impulsively and call it authenticity, then wonder why others gain the advantage. Victors filter, calculate, and understand that every word is either a weapon they control or one handed to someone else. Machiavelli's advice is clear. Life is not won by those who speak without restraint, but by those who control their mind before opening their mouth. In a world where everything can be screenshotted, forwarded, or replayed, your tongue is either your bodyguard or your betrayer. The choice is yours. Keep feeding enemies, manipulators, and competitors with careless words, or speak like someone who knows their words are assets, not impulses. Will you keep shouting feelings into the room, or join the small minority who weaponize silence and speak only to gain power, freedom, and respect? Your words will either build your empire or burn it from within. If this opened your eyes to how easily your own words can be turned against you, subscribe now for more lessons on dark psychology, power, and manipulation, because your future self is already living with the consequences of today's conversations.